Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd now like to invite Mr. Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country.
Thank you. Warame everyone, Nalawa. Good afternoon and welcome to the lands of the Walla Medigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to firstly pay my respects to the country itself and its people, and to thank the University for their acknowledgement of us and the invitation to welcome you here this afternoon. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated. My family in fact descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it, and so he enrolled his daughter, Bulungari, or Maria, into the Native Institute, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them, and it became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name from. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here this afternoon. And with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement, our advancement. Now, that was probably better understood in traditional times when camp groups were smaller and clans abided by the strict sharing laws, which meant that the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune with us enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we work together. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves a model or a benchmark on how good we should expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he came across not primitive societies, but ancient cultures. People he described to be one of the happiest people he'd ever met. They owned nothing but the tools they carried. They were naked, made their shelters from the bark of trees without cutting down the bush. And they harvested food from the earth without excessive tilling. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, no rents, and no homelessness. Armies were unheard of, as were forts, jails, or even fences. People cooperated to collect the resources that were needed, which were then, shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state through fire and responsible harvesting. Our rivers and waterways kept clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. So this is not a dream or an ideal. This was normal life for the longest time and not so very long ago. And I don't think there's any reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us, but we're a clever people, and there's still much magic in the world, I believe. So graduates, I would say expect great and wonderful things from your lives. Life is good, and we are normally a very happy people. I would suggest keep following that beautiful spirit got you this far, share your gifts with the rest of us, and together we can put together a country and a world that we can all be proud of, and one that is a future that is worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by winding up and letting you graduate. And just wanted to say congratulations to all of you and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Welcome to country.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my great honour to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan, AO.
Thank you, Chris Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, first I want to thank all of you for coming today. A graduation ceremony is a very important celebration of achievement, the achievements of our graduands, and I might say also of the university. So it's very good that you are here, and I'm very grateful that you are. I want also to especially thank those of you who have brought children with you. It's good for them that they're here, because memories of today and of the importance of today may one day be the thing that inspires them to emulate the successes of today's graduands. And their presence is also good for us, because every celebration is enhanced by the presence of children. Now, unless children have changed enormously since I was a child, very few of them will be able to sit still or stay quiet for the duration of a graduation ceremony. I don't expect them to, I don't want them to, and I don't want parents to worry if they don't. They are most welcome, and please let them run around and make as much commotion as they like. I'm pleased also to see we've got some babes in arms. We've got a couple over here, and we've got one right at the back that looks as though it's very freshly hatched. Now, babies, no doubt, will cry, and that's good too. They are free to yell their lungs out, because we know from past experience that if a baby cries throughout a graduation ceremony, they're back within 25 years to take out a PhD. So encourage them, don't discourage them. Now, the most important thing today is that our graduands have a great day, and you will only have a great day if you relax and sit back. Nothing can go wrong, so don't be nervous. Well, sometimes things go wrong. Occasionally someone comes up here and trips over, but that's okay. That's what all these people are here for. They're trained to pick you up and send you on your way. So just relax and enjoy the day, because you deserve to. You deserve to take pride, great pride, in your graduation. Completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind. You need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. I also want to congratulate today all of you who are here as the guests of our graduands, because if you think about it for just a moment, you've all obviously done well too. The very fact that you're here, the fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives, is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role. I have another important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they will soon become. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive today are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too shy to proclaim their own success, you make sure you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. In fact, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Macquarie, by comparison, is still very young. We celebrated our 50th Jubilee year only 3 years ago in 2014. We proudly take our name from Australia's greatest colonial governor, Governor Lachlan Macquarie, a man whose greatness and achievements were never acknowledged by his contemporaries, but only by history. Those of us who went to school in New South Wales were taught that Macquarie was a great builder, but in my opinion, his greatest legacy has nothing to do with bricks and mortar. In my opinion, Macquarie's greatest legacy was the ethos he established much to the annoyance, I might say, of the then British authorities, of an egalitarian society. Because it was Macquarie's insistence that in this fledgling convict colony there be no distinction between the free and the freed that was the foundation of the Australian notion of a fair go for all. And it is that legacy, a fair go for all, that here at Macquarie we will always aim to maintain and honour. After our first 53 years, we now have more than 176,000 Macquarie graduates living in more than 140 countries. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. We're now ranked in the top 2% of the world's universities. From our very beginnings, we have defied the traditional boundaries of academia. We have pioneered and continue to pioneer learning and teaching approaches that challenge conventions and shift thinking. Our students play a major role in their own learning and are empowered to guide what and how they learn. We're also research pioneers. Our framework for the future, world-leading research with world-changing impact, is brought to life by renowned researchers whose bold and innovative solutions to issues of global significance are of enormous benefit to the world we live in. And by the way, that's not an idle boast. I mean, I'm sure everyone here at some stage uses Wi-Fi. Now, Wi-Fi wasn't developed at Harvard University or Oxford University or Melbourne University or Sydney University. No, Wi-Fi was developed by Macquarie University scientists in conjunction with CSIRO scientists. I think that's a pretty proud boast, and we're certainly proud of it. We're also rather proud of some of our new facilities. On your way here today, you may have seen our Macquarie University Hospital, which is only a few years old. We are the only university in Australia that owns and operates its own hospital. The hospital forms part of a very exciting medical enterprise, which, when fully established, will be Australia's first fully integrated academic health sciences centre under a university's leadership. And by the way, it is a fantastic hospital. I can attest to that personally. A couple of years ago, I spent 3 nights there as a patient, and I can assure you that the level of care is absolutely phenomenal, especially if you're the Chancellor. So I recommend it to you. Other outstanding new facilities include our still fairly new library, our Australian Hearing Hub, which is a world-leading institute in hearing and language sciences, a state-of-the-art media centre, a newly launched simulation hub for teaching and research, and cutting-edge science laboratories. Now, that's not to say that all of our lecture rooms and laboratories are first class. Unfortunately, they're not. But we plan to fix that, and in the very near future we'll be announcing some very exciting plans for a major physical transformation of our campus over the next decade. So we're looking forward, and we're on the move. Here at Macquarie, we have a very clear and straightforward mission, and that mission is to transform people's lives and to improve the lives not just of our own students, but also of people all around the globe by the work and achievements of our graduates and by the fruit of our research. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Well, now, graduands and ladies and gentlemen, it's now my great pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Mr. Napoleon Purdes. Now, Napoleon is a renowned international makeup artist, experienced educator and author. Also a well-known and respected media commentator. Napoleon, I'm told, has an opinion on everything and is a regular guest blogger on the Huffington Post. Napoleon sought to democratise makeup ever since picking up his first brush at the age of 13 to help his mother prepare for an evening out. His first concept store on Sydney's Oxford Street opened in 1995, and Napoleon's reputation soon propelled him into magazine, editorial and television work. Napoleon loves nothing more than to support the next generation of talent since opening his Makeup Academy in 1993, during which time over 25,000 budding makeup artists have passed through its multiple campus stores across the country. Napoleon has been awarded the Ellie Genius Award for Innovation and another from Fashion Group International for his talent and services to the beauty and fashion industry. With over 85 concept stores, over 100 department store counters, over 750 independent stockists and 5 academy locations, as well as a new distribution deal confirmed with Southeast Asia and the Middle East, the future continues to burn bright for Napoleon Purtis. I might also say Napoleon is an alumnus of Macquarie University. He met his wife, who is here with us today, at Macquarie University. She was studying actuarial science, and he's also here with his 4 daughters, who of course wouldn't exist without Macquarie University. So girls, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Napoleon Purtis to deliver the occasional address. Please welcome Napoleon Purtis.
Wow, well, it's very exciting to be here this afternoon. And good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to begin by addressing the Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the Faculty of Staff, distinguished guests, graduates, and their, I'm certain, very proud family and friends. What an exciting and gratifying moment this afternoon is for you all. A place of pioneering minds, breaking free of conventions, discovering and unleashing your true potential. I feel extremely fortunate and proud to have graduated from the world-class tertiary institution that is Macquarie University. The last 13 years I've been living outside Australia, 11 years in Los Angeles and 2 years now in Athens, Greece, because our background is Greek, and I wanted the children to learn Greek. And let me tell you, while living in Los Angeles, everyone has this fret as to what college the child's going to go to. And they fight and they hire people to get them into placement. And I was just always very proud that I graduated from Macquarie University because it gave me world-class standard. And in distributing in America to over 2,000 retailers, including having met the presidents of companies that were over $70 billion, I never for a moment felt any weaker or any less than any Ivy League supposed international graduate. I actually felt equally as strong, not just for that, but also that I came from a country like Australia that provides us with the freedom to think and think outside the box and have to multitask because we don't just expect people to do it for us. Studying at Macquarie not only gave my mind the power, the freedom, and endless elixir of knowledge I so desperately craved. I'm more audio, I wasn't as much into reading, but I just loved turning up to those lectures and just listening. I graduated feeling unstoppable, never feeling mentally or socially claustrophobic, and that's an important thing. If you feel mentally or socially claustrophobic, you should actually change the space or change the people you're with. I felt as if I could achieve anything and everything I wanted in life. And so you should, at this stage of your life, you should be able to feel like you can conquer the world. One of my many mantras I adopted from studying at Macquarie University is think big, dream bigger. And that was amazing for me because on those lawns where I fell in love with Sula Marie, my wife, I actually told her all the things that I wanted to achieve, and people just then came when they were kind of doing interviews to kind of recruit me at different companies that come into the campus. And I wasn't really interested in getting a job with them. I was interested in actually thinking big and going for big things. It is with this exact mantra that I continue to live and work by. I don't really care what people have to say about me. I don't really care about what people have to say about how I dress, how I live my life, and what values I have. I care that I don't hurt people and that I live within the society, and as long as I'm respectable, I expect people to be respectable back to me. So it nurtured the concept here at Macquarie University of being able to elevate within social class and structure, which so dominantly exists within business. I was born in Sutherland Hospital and I was brought up in Parramatta. And being brought up in Parramatta in those days was actually kind of the big Westie. You never really actually thought that you could move beyond that. And in fact, a lot of my friends didn't. But my father, having been educated after the Civil War in Greece, or during the Civil War in Greece, actually made sure that we pursued education and upward mobility, and that was important. And to think that from Parramatta or from anywhere in Australia, you can't go to the next level of society is to think wrong. You can, and it happens, and when it does happen, you almost don't believe it. But don't just kind of sit there and go, I don't believe this. Take it, own it, and accept it, because then it will keep happening. In fact, I'm just going to break and give you one little example. I know this may sound superficial, but the meaning's deeper. But the first time I bought, because I couldn't afford to buy any designer label outfits, the first time I bought a designer label bag for my wife, she kept putting it very nicely in a pouch every time she'd use it, and on rare occasions that I could afford to take her out to dinner. And I met someone that said to me, you know, you need to think about getting to the next stage of your life. And when you get something, never think that God is not going to give you the next stage. So tell your wife to stop wrapping it like it's the most precious thing she's ever got, and to just use it continually, because it's meant to be used and it's meant to run out and you're meant to get another one. And if you got one, you'll get many more. So I just wanted to share that with you, because that was an important moment for me to realize that whatever you dream of and whatever you want is doable and it can happen. So, and in business in Australia, it's actually quite sad that today my bank managers, and we're a top 500 company with over 1,100 employees, but my bank managers turn up and they kind of almost want to ask the CFO what I'm doing. By the way, I employ the CFO, and by the way, I make sure that paycheck happens, and by the way, I know what happens creatively, you know, administratively, socially, retail distribution, so why don't you talk to me? So don't get intimidated by any of that. And don't get intimidated if you're a woman, because that happens even worse. Actually, one of them had the height to say to my wife that we fund your shoe collection. Actually, mate, you don't. I do, and my customer does, because of what I create and what I believe in. So it also allowed me here to break away from barriers in which family or culture can sometimes set upon you. My father said to me, and he passed away yesterday, but I'm glad I'm here today, because he would have wanted me to be here. But he said to me, if they ask me what my son does, what am I going to say? Hair and makeup? And I said, yes, exactly that. And he died of motor neuron disease yesterday at 2:15 a.m. And while he was still lucid up until a week ago, the thing he said to me that he was most proud of the things that I had achieved in my life. So don't allow culture, tradition, or things that you don't necessarily believe in as an individual to stop you, because it really shouldn't. Because at the end of the day, you working hard and mapping your life out the way you want to and being successful, not just monetarily, but successful in your spiritual and well-being, is what actually really matters at the end of the day. So it is where I met the love of my life, and wife now, and wife since for 28 years together now, Sula Marie. It is where my thirst and drive for success flourished, right here on this campus. It is what prepared me for the sacrifice, hard work and commitment. I used to hate writing those essays. And in those days, computers were only just starting to come in, so there were services around the university that you'd kind of take your notes and give it to them, they could type it for you. And I used to say to my father, this is where I need the money, give it to me now because I need to type. I can't stand writing this and I'm not going to type it myself. But it made me ambitious. You have to actually rely on people and expect people to service you and you service them. You give love, you get love. So, in which, and it was what it needed, you know, the groundwork was needed for me to successfully run and operate the business that I do today at Napoleon Purtis Cosmetics, a business which, as I said, employs over 1,100 people. Those people are not just employed in our stores. They're employed in logistics. We have EDI, state-of-the-art facility in delivering cosmetics across the country and across the world now. And it employs people in HR, it employs people in legal, it employs people in creative and visual graphics, visual merchandising, and in retail operations and retail strategy. And let me tell you that retail is in the top 8 industries in the world. So never underestimate how large the retail business is, and beyond how large retail is as a business, but also as an industry. But also, more importantly, never underestimate cosmetics. I just came back from Korea in Seoul, talking to Makeup in Asia, to the major conference that happens in Southeast Asia. Australia is almost 75% of the GDP of Southeast Asia, and cosmetics is, as a cosmetics country, or as a country of buyers of cosmetics, we are in the top 10 in the world. And I hated this other Australian that has a much smaller cosmetics company than me. I'm not being disrespectful there, but they did. That said, oh, we're a small business and a small market, and we need to have you, kind of, and support us. And what they didn't realise is, don't take away from the strength of who we are as a country. Being in the top 10 countries in the world for cosmetics, I stood up and I said, my country made me number 1. I have 11.5% market share in this country, in Australia, and I'm proud. And I'm standing here in front of you to tell you that Australia is a testing ground, in fact, and also a market you can use to grow and develop systems that work worldwide, and often better than they do overseas. Because when I launched in Bergdorf Goodman and Neiman Marcus, and those of you that haven't seen Scatter My Ashes at Bergdorf, is a woman who wants to scatter her ashes in Bergdorf because she loves the luxury there, you can actually see that beyond all that dream, I was able to be there, because every day those buyers see 4 different brands. Every day over 5 days is their mantra, and I made it. And I had Fifth Avenue windows, and when I launched my collection, Tommy Hilfiger's wife, came and bought my makeup. Because my system was better, my education was better than some of those other indie boutique brands. And when they can't afford to do it on their own, and I don't just mean monetarily, they sell out to the multinationals. I still own my business. And I will one day sell when I'm bored, but I'm not bored yet at this stage. And because Macquarie University showed me that in these beautiful grounds, I can keep creating and I can keep doing. So I just wanted to share that with you. So this afternoon marks just the beginning. Page 1 of however many pages you decide to write. No one else will stop writing or stop you writing. You decide to write how many pages you want. You are your own author. It is you who dictates the novel of your success. 1,000 blank pages await you, but should you fail, should you not accomplish your goals on the first try, just get up, stand up, and try again. When I launched into Neiman Marcus, which owns Bergdorf, the head merchant, they have a ton of vice presidents, associate vice president, senior vice president, executive vice president. There's vice presidents coming out of everywhere. But finally I got to the one that was the CEO, and I called her for 2 years every week. And I was number 1 out of my country, and I had already distributed Nordstrom, and I had already opened up in Ulta and Sephora, and had my own stores as well. But I wanted the top echelon of the world in luxury, and it was Neiman Marcus and Bergdorf Goodman. And I called her, and finally Hazel took the meeting. And I said to my father was living then, and he was with me. I said, give me your blessing. We got on a private jet because I wanted the whole team to get there and arrive in Dallas to present, because I knew that distribution would mean money, success, and recognition. And I was determined that I wasn't going to get back on that jet unless I had what I wanted. And I didn't want to stay the night and celebrate either. I just wanted to get back home. And you know what? I went in there and she said, I just keep seeing you all over the press, and you won the Elle Genius Awards, and you just did your own show on TLC, Get Your Face On with Napoleon Purtis, which is Discovery Channel. And you just did Miss America pageant with TLC. So I don't know why we haven't launched it before. I said, Hazel, you kept hanging up on me for 2 years. She goes, no, I didn't. I said, you actually did, because I actually used to talk to your secretary. She's actually got gifts from me almost every month. And, she kept saying to me that you won't take my call. And when I'd get through to you, you hung up on me. So stand up and try again. Don't let anything stand in your way. Because at the end of the day, I had windows at Beverly Hills on Wilshire Boulevard with Neiman Marcus with my name on. I had my name on Fifth Avenue with Bergdorf Goodman. And again, don't stop. Success is no accident. It doesn't just happen. Some of my relatives yesterday over my father's bed said to me, "Oh, you're good at talking. You've been good for your father. You've provided them a good life." How disrespectful. It doesn't just happen. You work hard and you keep working hard and you take the work ethic that is Australia and you take the work ethic that is developed here by graduating your degree and working hard and understanding different personalities, and you take it with you. Hard work is perseverance, learning, studying, sacrificing, and most of all, love. Love of what you are and love of what you do. Dedication. Be dedicated to yourself, your mission, your goals and beliefs. You don't always have to write them. They can be in your mind. Just be clear and stick to it. Sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice for what you want will become the sacrifice. Commitment and motivation. Motivation is what gets you started. Commitment is what keeps you going. At those dark moments when we had no one living with us from family, and it was just myself and my wife and the children, my triplets were 3 when they came over, and our oldest was 5. We were alone, and we just thought, have we done the right thing? There's all these nasty people. They don't want us to make it. There's all these people kind of commenting about everything. You know what? It's what keeps you going. You've got to be commitment. You've got to be committed. And committed to yourself first and foremost, and committed to your goal. Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. Push yourself, test yourself, make yourself proud. No one else is going to do it for you. And don't be afraid to look in the mirror and say, I look good. I'm fabulous. Because you know what? If you don't believe it, why should someone else? I always tell people, look in the mirror. You know, clients these days do divorce parties. But when you're doing their makeup, they don't want to look in the mirror. They're almost ashamed of the next stage of their life. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I make them look in the mirror. And slowly, slowly, as the lipstick goes on, as the mascara goes on, because I do mascara and brows first, and then as the foundations go on, I make them look in the mirror and they start to gain confidence and they start to do what I say, corporate makeover for takeover. Pleasing others can often be difficult, but pleasing yourself is even harder. Knowing you have tried, failed, tried again, and giving your very best every single time is what matters the most. Knowing that even though people may think you're mad, they may think you're gay, they may think you're out there, they may think you're camping, they may think that you don't fit normal society, you don't go to church, you don't believe. Unconventional in your ways, too much, too little, or not enough, but knowing you did it your way, the only way, is what will bring your heart and soul joy. And when I decided to leave America, which was very hard because Hollywood is captive, and I did many, many large personalities, big personalities on TV and film, and models, when I decided to leave, to leave the jail, I felt so free. And the first 6 weeks being in Athens, I thought, I don't care that I've come to an economy that everyone says is poor. I don't care. You know, the DNA is still in my blood, and this water in this land talks to me in more ways than I could even have imagined. I felt happy. But it wasn't until my wife one morning when I was driving around being mad that I'd left such a huge empire behind and wanted to consolidate with Australia and my new distributions. She rang me and she said, it's like cancer, cut it, stop it, come home. I've had enough of you being driving around like a madman. And I said, she's right. And I looked around me that night and I'll never forget, it was a full moon. I felt happy finally. And not because I was with a personality and an entourage. And I remember good old Paula Abdul saying to me, I need you near me. And her friends and her people and her hairdresser said, let's put it in the universe for Paula. Put what in the universe? She gets paid $15 million every episode for American Idol. I'm not putting anything in the universe. What are they putting for me in the universe? So you've got to do it because you want to be happy. Your soul has to be happy. And you can find happiness anywhere. I love now going to my dad's village. I used to for years reject it and not want to go there. Oh my God, I came from the village. He was a goat herder. I don't want to do that. That goat herder made me what I am today. It's what will radiate and be evident in everything you will accomplish and do. Never take no for an answer. I told you, 2 years. And I still kept going. And in Australia, when I first started, the first buyer at a Hearns, a department store in Western Australia, she said to me, why do you want to launch here? It's too far away from Sydney. And I kept calling and calling and calling her. And finally I met Robin Ahern. She refused to meet my management team. She only wanted to meet me because that's what Grandpa Ahern did. And I said, Robin, I'm not leaving this. She goes, I need to think about it. So I got up. I turned the lights off in her boardroom, very traditional Anglo-Saxon family. You don't do that. And I turned it off. And I said, well, I'm just going to create the atmosphere for you. You're going to say no, and I want 5 of your stores. And you're going to give me those 2 counters, and I will then grow and make it bigger and bigger. Well, Ahern's today is David Jones, and we're in the number 2 brand in colour across that distribution. And I'm the only brand that crossed over into 2 departments because of all the boutique brands during the war that was about exclusivity. So don't take no for an answer. Be polite, be persistent, but stand your ground. Observe, but do not judge. I don't want to be judged, so I don't want people judging me. I don't want to judge them. Celebrate, but remain humble. People think that I'm not humble often because I kind of stand my ground and I voice my opinion. Employees will say, you know, he's megalomaniac, he's egotistical. Well, yeah, my name's on the door. There's one Pope in this Vatican. I mean, did you not get it? And if you're not performing according to the mantra of the brand, you really don't need to be here, so go. In America, it's called employee at will, and I could tell people to go here, you've got to go through all the processes. Everything's politically correct in Australia, which is not a problem as long as it still allows us to talk our mind correctly and respectfully. Practice what you preach. Earn respect, don't expect it. Do what works for you, what comes naturally. Being invited to return to the university, I once walked barefoot, and I had barefoot, streaked hair, like a wog, you know, and it was long, and I was kind of sitting in that blue burger bar, and I was doing political science and business law, you know, philosophizing about everything. And it was those hippie highlights. You know, it moves me. It moves me today as I can see what a wonderful institution it continues to become and how the university's management and structure is truly, truly world class. As is its research. Last week when I was here, I was with the Deputy Vice-Chancellor and I said, I'm sorry I haven't read all the notes because my father's died of motor neuron disease. And they said, at the hospital, we have the head of research for motor neuron. Within 20 minutes, they had me with Roger sitting and talking, and I just discussed, and he said to me what the various things are, which a lot of it's environmental, 10% is genetic, and 30% is genetic mutation. And he said, please let me know how I can help you. Well, my father by that stage was already in palliative care. But I realised when he was telling me what they're doing for motor neuron, which is a dog of a disease, and the work that goes on here is truly world class, and this is the largest facility for motor neuron. And I said to him, I'm sorry, but I've just got to hug you because you're just amazing. And men like you and women like you that had taken me there, make things happen. And this university, I couldn't believe it today, you know, had this available to me instantly. And it was just brilliant, the world class that it is. In every way, and the research is amazing. And that was just one area that I'm able to tap in. I hear that there's many more areas. No stone is left unturned to ensure each student receives the highest grade and quality of education, opportunities and success. We had a 1-hour discussion before that of just how the university over the next 8 years wants to develop facilities that will bring it to even further world class. I think spending close to $3 billion. And I'm just extremely excited to be a part of that. I have no doubt in my mind, Macquarie University, as well as its endless resources and best of the best professors, lecturers, and courses contributed to the success of Napoleon Purtis Cosmetics, Napoleon Purtis, myself, the brand and the man. I value each lesson, hardship, setback, and failure life has thrown my way, as it's what has made me the person I am today. Life, business, relationships and new beginnings are never easy. And today's hard, but my father would have wanted me to be here. But it's what you make of those experiences that determines the outcome. It's the journey. The long, hard, sometimes fun, sometimes not fun journey, which makes everything worthwhile. So to my fellow graduates, enjoy the journey. Really embrace it. Breathe it all in. Live in the moment. Don't just worry about the future. Just live and enjoy the moment. The future will come and you'll make the future. In fact, a Chinese friend of mine said that we see fortune in the future as a fork. You can take different paths, but ultimately it ends up to one area. So sometimes everything is predetermined, if that's the belief system, but you can take different paths. But live in the moment. Feel and know your worth. Know your contribution to society. We all have something to contribute. The workforce and community. Your perseverance, patience and knowledge will always be greatly appreciated and needed. Trust your instincts, believe in yourself. I believe in you and wish you nothing but the ultimate career, the ultimate journey, and more importantly, the ultimate joy. I thank you for the opportunity to share my once-in-a-lifetime education experience, and as Oscar Wilde once said, you can never be overdressed or overeducated. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen and graduates, I'm sure you'll agree that was a stunning occasional address. Lots of spirit. I mean, I was thinking when Napoleon was speaking of what we owe to the post-war migration scheme. Often we talk about the economic benefits of the post-war migration scheme. We too often overlook what it did for the soul and spirit of the nation. And I think Napoleon certainly reminded me of how much we owe the people who, particularly after the Second World War, uprooted themselves from their home countries and made the very bold move to come to a land far away from their family and their friends. Napoleon did make me feel very old too, I must say. He was born at Sutherland Hospital, and he just told me, what year was it? 1970. Well, I was at the opening of the Sutherland Hospital in 1956. I was 8, and I remember the then Premier was a fellow by the name of John Joseph Carl, after whom the Carl Expressway is named, and by the way, the man who was responsible for building the Sydney Opera House. And I can remember Premier Carl patted me on the head, and so I remember the opening of Sutherland Hospital very, very well. I also, and by the way, I mean the central theme of Napoleon's speech was Think Big. Think Big was also a racehorse that twice won the Melbourne Cup, and I backed it both times. So it's good advice, Napoleon, good advice. I think he deserves another great round of applause. Well now, graduands and ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the central part of the ceremony, the reason that we are here, and that is the conferring of degrees. Now, I did mention earlier that there's nothing for you to feel nervous about, but I must admit this is the one part of the ceremony that makes me feel just a little bit nervous, because a good friend of mine, who became the Chief Justice of New South Wales, Jim Spiegelman, once told me that if I conferred a degree on someone who was not entitled to get it, it was very, 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 very difficult for me to take it back. So I have to make absolutely sure that you're all eligible to graduate today. And for that reason, I'm going to call upon the Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Registrar, Deirdre Anderson, to formally certify your eligibility and to give me an ironclad assurance that none of you were ever late in submitting an assignment and that none of you ever skipped a class. Deirdre, can you please give me those assurances?
Chancellor, I certify that all the candidates present here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would all candidates please stand?
Graduands, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Please be seated. Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. I now call on Professor Martina Mollering, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Arts, to present the graduates. Professor Mollering.
Chancellor, students and staff in this faculty work together within and across disciplinary boundaries to ask questions about socially complex problems. They identify paths of research, analyse and communicate ideas in creative formats, and reflect on the skills and knowledge they will need to understand the world, past, present and future. Students are encouraged to use their skills and talents to connect with local and global communities. This faculty includes research and study areas in ancient history, anthropology, English, Indigenous studies, international studies, law, media, music, communication and cultural studies, modern history, politics and international relations, philosophy, sociology, and security studies and criminology. Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Arts whom you have admitted to degrees. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Science. Jacob Dawson Daly. Sophie Louise Rosenthal. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Lauren Adams. Jacqueline Bell. Andrew Gregory Boulos. Benjamin Wayne Braden. Kezia Bonnie Brooks. Reese Brown. Beijia Tsai. Rebecca Cambridge Dar. Josephine Marie Clark Rowe. Linda Corazza. Bronte Isabella Cork. Arthur Ben Cowley. Rachel Dredge. Elise Duda. Ida Özek. Kathleen Freeman. Grace Geary. Alexandra Catherine Green. Andy Wim Twanto. Satsuki Hosokawa. Alexandra Juliette Ho. Benjamin Jacobson. Kevin Jong Gwen Kim. Phoebe Lockie Kwan. Yatsi Leona Lund. Sutong Ma. Dushan Manika Vaksaka. Lauren Mary McGraw. Alec McLeod. Stiliana Metaxoulis. Milica Nestorovic. Noor Özkatal. Caitlin Abby Pearson. Nicola Jennifer Potter. Anuja Prasad. Vishruti Rana. Mern Rang. Rebecca N. Sebesti. Yi Yon So. Jessica Shaw. Julia Shipley. Laura Ainsley Suzanne Sturrock. Ryan Lawrence Sullivan. Michaela Tetchell. Elizabeth Trevelyan. Will be coming in a minute. In the meantime, we've got Kana Tay with us. Sorry. And once again, Elizabeth Trevelyan. Alexia Tseros. Cassandra Kelly Varela Chung. Chao Karen Vieng. Christina Isabella Wilson. Shao Tang Shu. Susie Merhab. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Media. Anna Alongsagai. Salim Barham. Jonathan Burnett. Luke Nicholas Bibi. Lucinda Blakemore. Carla Rosebrett. Ruby Lindsay Bircher. Catherine Hannah Buttress Grove. Adriana Camilleri. Ewan Christopher Carlisle. Lok Yan Chang. Ella Torrey Clunes. Raina Kogan. Taylor Sedona Cohen. Emma Nicole Cook. Emily Korish. Cameron Kotatsu. Monica Chris Marley. Sean Daly. Elizabeth Daoud. Jessica Leona del Rosario. Samuel Dodson. Sophie Lauren Elliott. Andrew Lindley McKevitt Emerson. Joel Fortusato. Kristen Louise Gillett. Francesca May Gilmore. Georgia Josephine Gleason. Madison Glover. Eloise Marie Goodman. Catherine Rose Haddad. Serene Haja. Jasmine Amy Hannigan. Georgia Hart. Daniel Hayek. Alexandra Hurricane. Shelan Huang. Naomi Hudson. Patrick Hudson. Ogie N. Ike. Kantali James. Luke Jarvis. Kavia Kalutarage. Zulang Kang. Louise Knight. Anastasia Mary Lloyd. Cassandra Longstaff. Joanne Louise McKellar. Brenna McConaughey. Max Alexander James Mahood. Laura Jane Macia. Peter Stephen McLean. Carrie McGurk. Lisa Kate McLean. Katrina McNally. Catherine Middleton. Carla Francesca Monfort. Patrick Newell. Jackson Gregory Poole. Catherine Rigby. Brett Riley. Amelia Jane Ellen Robertson. Angus Rowe. Timothy Leslie Jack Rosich. Lucy Ross. Sebede Rostabek. Rebecca Ellis Roth. Haval Sayan. Catherine Rebecca Oliver Shaw. Georgia Shepherd. Amber Shipley. Sarah Louise Simmons. Victoria Alexandra Slater. Rachel Edith Sparks. Emma Elizabeth Stevens. Michael David Swain. Nyok Min Kwan Tran. Kate McKinnon White. Lachlan White. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Creative Media. Huai Huan. Jeffrey William Limbert. Nicholas Morteno. Sintanath Petprapan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Future Journalism. Sarah Basford, who has been awarded the Vice Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Joanna Samantha Marciniak. Samara Nicole McCann, who has been awarded the Vice Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Stephanie Josie Rousseau. present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of International Communication. Roxana Ali Dawoodi. Alejandro de la Parra Medella. You do. Alejandra Main Hernandez Martinez. Sheng Yao Huo. Yuan Li. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research. Adrian Philip Chen for a thesis entitled The Gamer and the Game, Pick-up Artists from the Perspective of Game Studies. Jane Gibson for a thesis entitled Does the Anglicizing of Names Bury Ethnic Identity? Lucienne Laufer for a thesis entitled Women and Football in Brazil, an also ethnographic study. Clementine van der Kwast for a thesis entitled The Object, an Investigation into Luxury. Sophia Kobacker for a thesis entitled The Female Hero's Journey in Narrative Media. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Emily Jane Bernice Booker for a thesis entitled Children, Television and Fun, an exploration of the ways in which children enjoy television and of how the dominant public and media discourses curtail our understanding and appreciation of the value of this entertainment to children. Dr. James Alexander Cox for a thesis entitled It's Like DNA, You Know, Analysing Genealogies of Listening in Australian Hip-Hop.
Husband and wife.
Dr. Rachel Louise Gunn for a thesis entitled Deterritorialising Gender in Sydney's Break Dancing Scene, a B-girl's experience of b-boying. Dr. Twidiana Budi Hapsari for a thesis entitled Australian Frames and Indonesian Minds, the contested Australian image among Indonesian Muslims on salient Australian issues in Indonesia. Dr. Siobhan Francesca Lyons for a thesis entitled Literary Celebrity from Romanticism to the 21st Century. Dr. Suhaini Muda for a thesis entitled Sustaining Collaborative Partnership in an ICT-based community service organization to empower children in orphanages. Perspectives from multiple stakeholders. Dr. Tanya Louise Muscat for a thesis entitled Informing Spatial Realities, Audiences and Television News in Australia. Dr. Yan Xu for a thesis entitled Trauma and Recovery, Cognitive Approaches to Trauma Narrative in 3 post-9/11 novels. Chancellor, that completes this afternoon's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
Chancellor, I call on Dr. Rachel Gunn, who has graduated today with a Doctor of Philosophy, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Dr. Gunn.
Chancellor, members of the University, fellow graduates and guests. I am honoured to have been invited to speak during the ceremony on behalf of this afternoon's graduates. I found it difficult to write this graduate response. Well, namely what to say to you all today. I looked at past speeches, suggested topics, liaised with my peers, and thought about all the things one could or should say on an occasion such as this. An occasion marked by celebration and achievement. An occasion bound through ritual, joining us together with those who achieved before us, and the achievements that no doubt will continue to follow us. The series of words that kept manifesting in my mind as I was attempting to write this speech, interestingly, were the same words that were so frequently used to keep me on track while I was undertaking my studies. They were the same words that friends and family members used to warn me about what was needed to conquer the academic tasks ahead. And they are the words that I know will only be too familiar to everyone here today. Words like hard work, sacrifice, determination, dedication, perseverance, and any kind of motivational-like phrase that one might envision on a poster with the words alongside a cat dangling from a tree. Yet just saying these words doesn't encapsulate all the varied experiences that have led us here today. Take perseverance, for example. Just saying that the past, however many years, required perseverance doesn't signal the way we had to work through a document, be it a thesis chapter, assignment, that was embarrassingly dominated with red lines, crosses, comments, and very little of our original work remaining, and the perseverance to try it all again. And then there's sacrifice. How can we explain sacrifice without remembering those nights that we said, no, I'm going to finish my assignment or conference paper or thesis chapter, and I'm not going to watch the latest episode of Game of Thrones. How can we talk about patience? The patience required to work towards one thing for 3, 4, 5 years, perhaps longer, and also recognise the patience of our families and loved ones over the course of our studies. Remembering those times they may have asked us what we want for dinner, or brought us a cup of tea, or some clean clothes, to then be met with an incomprehensible muttering, with our eyes never so much leaving our computer screens. How can we talk about the importance of the guidance we received, without knowing too well that it includes our teachers and supervisors, too often going above and beyond their pay grade, their sanity level, in getting us to this finish line? Being available on email while in a different time zone. The last-minute reviews of your journal article because you weren't quite ready to let it go. The extensions, because let's face it, life got in the way of our studies and not the other way around. And even the moments our supervisors or lecturer may have had to awkwardly run around the building just to find some tissues after you've broken down in their office again. And then there's the dedication or stubbornness to finish something you started, to see it through, even though it may not look anything like it did in the beginning, because maybe along the way you completely changed course or major, but some insane part of you still wanted to get to the finish line, to break through to where we find ourselves today. Those of us sitting in this hall today, or watching on the Jumbotron in the courtyard outside, or even live streaming at home, we know what words like hard work, patience, perseverance, and sacrifice really mean in this context. We know that the term hard work is merely the tip of the iceberg. We know that motivation can also be another word for anxiety, competitiveness, or perfectionism. And we know that today we are not only celebrating our academic achievements, but also a whole lot of personal achievements. We are celebrating getting through all those moments when we felt like a failure, a fool, an imposter, when we thought we let ourselves down, when we thought we let you down, and when we almost sacrificed too much. Because studying is rarely only studying with your nose in a book locked away in an office by yourself. And it's rarely just one person that is on this academic journey. It is also the people around us that enable us to achieve, to persevere, and to sacrifice. Whether it's through taking the time to teach us how to write fluently, picking up the phone when we needed a chat, fixing our computer, or maybe just even giving us money for food. So I want to congratulate everyone who has received their degree today. And then I also want to congratulate all the other groups of people that enabled this achievement. The teachers, supervisors, university professional staff, family members, friends and co-workers. I want to thank all of you for your hard work, perseverance, and patience in a way that might encapsulate all the varied lived experiences that brought us here today. And perhaps as we all embark on our future endeavours, after we have left this ceremony, this celebration, and this stage of our lives, we will begin another journey of learning what those words can mean. Congratulations to you all. We made it, and thank you.
Well done. Congratulations, Rachel, on a fine speech, but also, of course, on your doctorate. It's quite an achievement to get a doctorate, and you should be very proud of yourself. But just because you've got one doesn't mean you can't come back and get another one. We have one fellow here at Macquarie University who has, I think, 4 PhDs. So that's setting the standard for you. I think Rachel deserves another great round of applause.
O mia
Well now, that wasn't too bad, was it? That glorious voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to Angela Brewer. And we're very fortunate here at Macquarie University. Angela sings at almost all of our graduations. Occasionally she can't make it. So you're lucky, fortunate that Angela could sing today, because on the occasions when she can't, I do the singing. I think she deserves another great round of applause. As do our fabulous musicians, Dr. James Forsyth over there on the organ. Melanie McLaughlin. Sitting next to Melanie and James, and I think perhaps, yes, over here too, are some of our alumni volunteers who volunteer their time to come along to our graduations to make sure that they go smoothly. I'm sure you'd like to thank them as well. Well, graduates, this ceremony marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it is certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni, and part of the network of 176,000 Macquarie alumni spanning the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And please, graduates, make sure that you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study, attend alumni events, use our aquatic and fitness facilities, or even, if you like, just to have a stroll through our lovely campus, or even enjoy a picnic down by the lake. Well, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. And you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either, because almost everything you do, in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities, matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society, through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned, not only for your own benefit, but also for the betterment of the community. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you've enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, go with all your heart. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Now, graduates, I hope also that you'll always remember the people who've helped you along the way, many of whom, of course, are here to help you celebrate today. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm now going to ask you to do just a couple of things. Graduates, would you now please stand? Now I'd like you to put your degrees on the seats behind you so that your hands are free. And now I'd like you to turn around to face your families and your friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. Well, graduates, you can turn around now, but don't sit down because we'll be leaving in just half a minute. Here on the dais behind me are representatives, of course, of our academic staff who've supported you throughout your journey, and I'm sure you'd like to put your hands together for them as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few seconds I will lead the official party out through the centre aisle, and we will be followed by all of the graduates. And then following the graduates, I would like all of you to join the procession through the centre aisle and down to the marquee overlooking the lake, where I hope you'll all join us for some light refreshments. We even have some fairy floss and ice creams for the children and for me. So please make sure you do come and join us. I would now invite everyone to please stand and remain standing until the last graduate has processed out. Well, graduates, I wish you the very best for the future. And in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Graduates, good luck.